Fish and jerks. Fish and jerks.
Fish it, jerks! How we doing? How we doing tonight? Oh, doesn't not a lot of people in the house to start it off, but they'll trickle in. They always do. Most of the fish fam, I think, are just lazy. I think they're lazy people. They're always late for everything. They're horrible people, really, when it comes down to it. Just horrible people. So, do you mind if I call you? Well, you got Jerry right in your name on the thing, so you obviously don't mind. Hi, Jerry.
Right.
How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Rico? Good.
I'm gonna do my normal spiel, even though there's not a bunch of people in here yet. So, if you're new to the thing, we don't look at the chat the whole first time. It's just gonna be Jerry and I talking about stuff, more outside of the hobby. But Jerry has some exciting things going on, so we are going to touch on some stuff within the hobby with Jerry. But it's just going to be us talking for the whole first part of the stream, and then the second part of the stream will open it up to questions from the chat. So if you have questions, that's the time to ask them. If I don't say hi to you, I apologize, but I try not to look at the chat at all, so I can focus on Jerry and we can learn more about him. So there we go. All right. So Aquashella first. Maybe that's what we should jump into and get some of the fishy business out of the way first. Aquashella looked amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So many people called you out and said, hey, Papa Shrimp was a lot of fun to hang out with. We had a blast. What was your one single favorite thing about Aquashella other than getting to hang out with all those cool people?
My single favorite thing probably was that, and it's funny that I tripped in front of everybody because I was walking by the Fishtuber booth and John, Lisa, everybody was sitting there, Jason from Primetime Aquatics. They were all hanging out and I tripped. I didn't fall. I just tripped. And they were like, nobody saw. And then from then on, they were watching and laughing every time I walked by to make sure I didn't trip. So,
yeah, that's good.
It was a funny way for them to get to know me, but
yeah,
it was funny. So,
laughter, I think, is always the best way to get to know people. You know what I mean? If you share a laugh with somebody, there's a deeper connection than just going up and saying, hey, how you doing? If right. You know what? I might steal that. I'm going to go to a fish expo here in a couple of months, and I think I might just fall on purpose just to steal your thunder a little bit. Maybe I'll fall in front of everybody.
John said he was going to call me the guy that almost fell at Aquashella, but then he changed it to the Danny Trejo thing because of my hair being down the next day.
Oh yeah, see, that's what I was sort of hoping you had it down because he did mention Danny Trejo. And I'd like to see it. And I could sort of see a little bit. But, yeah, I bet with the hair down, you'd definitely look a lot more like him.
I was just trying to let it dry, I had just taken a shower, and I didn't want to put it up in a ponytail, so I left it down. It got bushy.
I know. I'm there. It happens. What made you grow your hair out? Have you always had long hair? Was there any type of event or just how you like your hair?
I'm a musician. I play drums.
That's right.
So yeah, long hair's always been my thing. But then of course you get a job, you got to cut your hair. So I'm either really short and my head is shaved or I have long hair.
Gotcha. No in between.
No in between. I don't do well with in between. I don't know how to style my hair.
Yeah, I did an in between for a little bit, but I actually let my hair grow really long. It was waist length. It was really, it was all the way down. And
right
when I retired, I shaved my head and my beard one day. I just did it. And with a razor so that it was shiny, and no beard. And as soon as I did it, I was like, that's the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. And my wife did not like it either. So that was probably, I should have checked with her first, but I think it was too drastic.
I'm just glad that I can still grow it at this age. I can still grow long hair. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of
I may also grow forehead really good because I grow forehead really fast, but I grow hair too.
no, how old are you roughly? You don't have to give the exact age. Are you in your 50s, 40s?
In my 50s, early
Okay.
50s.
Okay. That's what I sort of figured. I'm a little bit older than that, but uh, otherwise, right there. I retired a few years ago, so excuse me. So you live in Texas. Oh,
Right.
Aquashella. Was there anything surprising about Aquashella, either with a certain person you met, or just was there anything that really surprised you or took you back a little bit? Like, at Aquashella at all. Was there anything that comes to mind like that?
Um, I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
it was my second one,
Okay.
so I already had my feet wet with all of that, and this time it just seemed like it was more of a. I was more involved in it, so it wasn't as much of a having a culture shock of my first Aquashella type thing.
Gotcha.
But everybody was really cool. Everybody was really nice. We had a great time. It didn't matter, big channel, small channel. Everybody just hung out at the fish tube area, and all of the people there in Florida were really. It was amazing to see so many people in the freshwater side, especially with so many events that had just happened recently there. Like the Reefapalooza, I think had happened like 2 weeks before,
Oh,
but
gotcha.
it was still a big event.
Gotcha. Now, Reefapalooza, I think, moves around the country, doesn't it? I believe they're doing one in here in New York somewhere. I don't know. I
I'm
don't.
not sure.
I don't
I
follow the
hadn't heard
salt.
about it because I'm not saltwater guy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Same here. Same here. Okay, I just wondered if because a lot of people said, well, like John, he said, Ed is way bigger than he's way taller than I thought, and so I wanted to see if you had any kind of reaction like that when you met somebody. Now, have you met a lot of those people before when you went to the last one, or was this the first time you really
yeah,
got to meet most of them?
yeah. I mean, I met him, but like I said, back then it was 2019 in Chicago. So that one, I think I had 4 subscribers in my channel. I had just started,
Gotcha.
and I was more of, I knew everybody, and luckily I got to hang out with everybody. They were so cool that they let me into the big kids table. So I was having dinner with Lucas and Fishy Biz. I mean, just everybody, Amber, Joseph,
Yeah.
Priscilla, Carrie. It was crazy. Um, so I kind of knew them. They didn't know me, but
Gotcha.
I think slowly over the past couple of years, it's been out there enough. They at least know who Papa Shrimp. They may not know me, and I get more of the, oh, you're Papa Shrimp. Yeah, that's me.
And that's a good segue. How did you land on the name Papa Shrimp? Obviously, you like shrimp, but Papa Shrimp exactly. How did you come across that name? How did it hit you?
My grandkids, honestly, that was the whole thing. And my grandson would the only word he could say was fish, because he tried to say fish. And every time he'd see me, that's what he'd do, is he'd pick up his hands and say fish. And he'd want to go see the aquarium. So I'd sit him down in front of the aquarium to show him everything. And I told my son, I was like, he's not going to be able to call me Papa J. He's going to call me Papa Fish. But when I looked it up, there was already Papa Fish was taken, Father Fish was taken.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, what isn't taken? And I was like, Papa Shrimp, because my granddaughter would say shrimp. That was the only word she could say, but she could say shrimp.
Nice.
So I picked Papa Shrimp and kind of stuck. It kind of fit. So
Yeah. That's a cool story. I like that. That's homegrown, that's to pull a name like that. That's a good story. Instead
it
of,
fits me being a breeder for shrimp too, or
yeah,
at least tagging myself a breeder for shrimp. So,
gotcha.
that's my hopes and dreams, is that way Papa Shrimp means something other than just a name.
Yeah, other than just the name of your channel, but it's who you are as well.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because I'm a granddad first and foremost.
I don't have any. I have adult children. And all three of them are in committed relationships, but I don't have a single grandkid. And I would be an awesome grandpa. So I'm
They're
jealous that
awesome.
I really would love to have some grandkids someday. My daughter's even married. The other two are in committed relationships, but she's married and still no grandkids.
Well, that's what makes this hobby cool, is because this is definitely something I could share with my grandkids versus I can't really share my heavy metal music
Yeah.
that I played 20 years ago. I can, but they need to be a little older.
Yeah. Yeah. To really appreciate it and get all the nuances.
Right.
Are you in
But
a band still today?
yes and no. I mean, my band that I've been playing with for over 30 years, I live here on the property with my guitar player best friend. So we're basically practicing for a show in September, but we maybe play once a year, twice a year type of thing.
Oh, gotcha. So it's more just fun now than anything else. I mean, it was always fun, I bet, but
Oh yeah.
now it's just fun. I'm not musical at all, but I did live with a band, and we would go places as a group. You know, it was me and the whole band lived in the house. I was the only member that wasn't in the band, and we'd go places, and people would say, "Hey, everybody's here." And there's Rick. You know, I was always the and there. You know, I was like always on the outside looking in. You know, because I wasn't in the band.
Right.
But I wasn't a roadie. I wasn't carrying shit around. You know, I was just out in the crowd in the bar getting drinks bought for me and stuff like that, telling stories about band
Yeah.
members and stuff.
Oh yeah, we had a blast. It's one of those things that we're kind of we still like to jam and play, but we know we're old and we're all grandfathers basically,
Yeah.
so
And
we're just having fun with it.
is it still the same kind of music as well? You said heavy metal. Do you still play pretty heavy music?
Oh yeah.
It hasn't
I
really
just have to
slowed
play
down.
it differently.
Okay.
Well, all this stuff that I wrote 20 years ago and 30 years ago, I have a real hard time playing my own stuff. I mean, I have a real hard time, but the newer stuff, I've written it in a way that I can play it easier being older.
Gotcha. So you've tailored it to fit your physical capabilities now.
Yes.
Gotcha.
It's too hard to play the stuff. I'm kick myself in the rear all the time for, man, why did I write it that way 20 some odd years ago?
Yeah. Is there a place we can hear some of your music? Do you have like recordings somewhere out there? Is there?
Yeah, if you look up X''S Red, it's called X is Red. I think our website, xisred.com, is still up online. I haven't looked in a while. And then on Reverb Nation, you can find X is Red. And there's a few videos on YouTube.
Nice.
A lot of live stuff from some of it like 10 years, 12 years ago, and then a lot of it from about 20 years ago.
I am going to. I'm just giving myself some thumbnails to do a little research and to look at it. You said X apostrophe. What was the rest of it? S.
And then RED. X is Red.
Okay, got it. Just so I can go back and look at it later. I'm just I'm want to hear what you guys play. I want to hear some of it.
Oh yeah, we were playing around DFW back in the heyday when Drowning Pool was playing, and of course Pantera was touring all over the world. So, we had a blast back in the mid '90s and late '90s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mine was again. I didn't play, but I was with the band, and that was more late '70s, early '80s. That time period. So a decade earlier, but still. Same type of thing. I lived in Arizona.
It's not the same anymore.
No?
Nah, it's not the same anymore out there.
What's different about it? What's not? Is it because again, we always say that as we age. It was better when I was younger, or things were different when I was a kid. I always wonder if we're looking, the rose-colored glasses type thing. Are we just remembering? So what are some of the things that stick out to you that are different between now and then?
The biggest thing that's different is that back then we had 30, 40, 50 bands that were original bands carving their own niche in the music scene around here.
Gotcha.
And now it's turned into the only way musicians make money is playing in tribute bands, playing other people's music
Oh,
and sucking up all the stage time. And then original bands kind of get left in the wind and don't make any money because the tribute bands are there.
Yeah, everybody wants to hear the covers. Nobody cares about your own material. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah. And the band I live with was all they never did cover. Well, no, they did do covers once in a while. They play a lot of festivals and stuff, but they did a lot of their own stuff. And it was a weird conglomeration because you had some of the guys that were really into, the heavy stuff at the time was Maiden and Priest and all of those.
Oh yeah.
So you had a couple of the guys who were really into that, but the lead singer, lead guitar player was really into the Grateful Dead, and the bass player liked all kinds of stuff. He liked reggae and, so it was just a really weird combination. But at the time, it really fit. It was in Arizona. Like I said, it was in the late 80s, early 90s. No, it was late 70s, early 80s. And the huge punk scene at the time. Huge punk scene at the time there. That's when the Meat Puppets, they came out of that area, and Jodie Foster's Army, and I can't remember all the different bands that came out of there at the time, but there was a lot of punk bands, and so they were a weird mix, but they had a pretty good following. It was a nice original sound that they had. Because they all joined in together to make it. It wasn't just one guy saying this is how we're going to play it. They all put their little bit. Do you have that same type of thing? Do you guys all bring your own different interpretations to the band, or do you all pretty much agree with how it sounds? I mean, is there disagreements a lot on what type of how we're going to play that and stuff like that?
Yeah, and it's basically me and my best friend Johnny, the guitar player. He's also the singer, so he always, when he's writing the songs, he has to think about how he's going to sing it and play it.
Yeah.
So to him, writing a song is different than it is for me just playing the drums to it.
Yeah.
So we sometimes go back and forth, but it comes out for really cool music that we throw in, and then our bass player or lead guitar player will come up with an idea and throw it, and we'll be all like, wow, that's a good idea. And then we'll go, and we just have fun with it. We've always just had fun with it.
Oh, good. Yeah. I do this all the time lately. You said something and made me think of something, and now I forgot what it was. Let's see, the disagreements. It'll come to me. It probably wasn't that important anyways. All right. So let's talk about what's going on with you and Jadron Aquatics. You guys are sort of combining forces, and how in depth is that going to be? You're going to keep separate channels, right?
Yeah. As far as the YouTube stuff, it's kind of I'm still Papa Shrimp, and I'll do my videos here and there, but I'm basically doing everything I can to take over all of the online store business and provide more retail hours. Wow. That way he can focus on his printing shop, which is really keeping him super busy. And it's keeping him so busy that he hasn't really been able to do much on the fish side.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's basically what we've worked out, is that he's going to leave it that way. And that way it's basically mine, but his at the same time. And we'll just see where it goes and make some kind of business arrangement. We're so funny because we can't figure out what we're going to do about how we're going to do all the money stuff.
Yeah.
So every time we start to talk about it, we're both like, oh, well, yeah, money and, Okay. All right. See you
Yeah.
tomorrow.
That is funny. Um, does you said the retail part of it? Does he have a walk-in store, an actual physical store,
Yeah,
or are
right
you?
now we're actually open for walk-ins. We have people
Oh,
that come up and pick up their orders, and then we're also letting people come and they're finding us on Google and showing up at the door. So we figure we might as well start opening up more for the retail side of it, and kind of gear our shop into both, not just a shipping area, but also a retail location for people to come in and buy direct.
gotcha. I was not aware of that. I've bought fish from Jadrin. I have some in the. Well, you can't see it; it's behind that chair. But I have some black ruby barbs that I bought from him. Love them. Awesome fish. No complaints at all. They've been doing awesome. I've had them for I don't know 4 months, 5 months, something like that. He did a great job shipping. I mean, all that part of it was again, no complaints. Price was good. I definitely, when I'm ready to buy fish, I always look. He's one of the stores that I look for all the time. So, but I wasn't aware that there was a retail part of it.
Yeah, we just now getting all of that set up. We just received a big order of plants, another order of fish. We have aquariums coming and all kinds of fish foods. We're just, like I said, we're gearing up at this point. So we're not going to go to Aquashella in Chicago because we're going to focus our efforts on making sure we're doing everything right at the store. So that way we can be ready for Dallas.
Gotcha.
We want to be, fully operational and be able to have some people come visit us at the store even by the time August or Aquashella Dallas rolls around.
How far is Dallas away from you guys?
Not far. We're in the south part of in between Dallas and Fort Worth.
Okay.
So it's probably about 30 minutes,
Okay.
if that much, away from
Yeah.
us.
Not bad at all. Are you guys going to have
Right.
a booth at that at the Dallas Aquashella?
We're seriously considering it, and probably.
Yeah. He does a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
think so.
expos already too, right? I know he did. I saw something a while back that he did. I don't remember what it was
Yeah.
called, but maybe DFW Expo or something like that. I feel like DFW
Yeah.
was in the name.
That was the first one that I went back and actually helped him with when I came back from being gone in Arkansas and stuff. So he it's DFW Aquarium Association, and they put on a fish expo. They're
Okay.
doing one next month as well, and we're going to be there. And Jess from Maine's Tails, Furs and Fins, she's going to be there. She's going to hook up with us. We're going to get 2 tables actually.
Nice.
But Jason combines his printing work with all of the fish tube stuff. So
Yeah.
that's where a lot of it, the stickers that you see, the banners that people get printed,
Yeah.
Jason does a lot of that stuff. The live fish stickers on people's packages and acclamation cards and stuff like that. So
I was looking because here we go. I have such a mess here on my desk. And of course I picked up all the ones that weren't his. But yeah, I got quite a few of them. I got the pack from him of the 100 fish tubers. So I got Mr. Select Pet and Fish Boy and Mr. Steam Fot, all from that little bit. But and you were just talking about Jess, and I got hers from him. So I subscribe to his channel, and if you subscribe to his channel, he sends you out 100 fish tuber stickers for free, which I think is very cool. He does something, a lot of the channels give you some kind of content for your membership, but he's one of the few that actually gives you a physical thing, like you get some
right.
of Priscilla's prints. I saw Priscilla in here, and I saw Jess from Maine's Tails, Fur and Fin too. But I have up here, you can't see it, but I have all those prints of Priscilla's that came from him as well. So very cool. He does an amazing job on the printing stuff. They look great.
Oh yeah.
So he's really just going to focus more on that, and you're going to be the guy running the fish part of it.
Correct.
But it's one business.
Yes.
Fish printers. print fishers.
Well, he's got his B&B printing, and that's why I'm taking care of the fish side of it. It's in the same shop. Is basically what we're doing right now. And if we're lucky enough to be, looking at growth this time next year, will we buy a building or expand to have a separate? Yeah, most likely. But just right now, it's sustainable for me to do it with a little bit of his help. And even with his help, we could probably sustain and absorb some growth. So we're looking pretty good right now. It's a matter of just making sure we're getting the right stuff that people want. Yeah. And I'm looking at it more of what would I buy? What is it that I use? And that's the kind of stuff that I want to be able to offer. I don't want to offer something just because it's an easy sell and it'll make us profit, Yeah. It's got to be, there's got to be something that I think people are really going to use.
Yeah. And I think you sort of see that he has that same philosophy, because you sort of see that with the fish that he has online for sale. I hadn't seen the black ruby barbs anywhere else. So it was neat to see them from him. And they weren't like, a crazy price or anything. They were a good price. And again, shipping, everything was just, I've bought from a lot of fish fan people. I get almost all my fish from online, and he was one of my favorite experiences. I was very happy with all of it. Good. I was just going to say, Lori, Monster Fish Gal, she actually put the link in there for you, and I don't know if we get Jadrin's in there as well. Maybe they already did. Yeah, if we could throw up Jadrin as well, both his YouTube and his retail, his online store, that would be awesome. Great mods.
And that's basically how I got involved with Jason, was when I discovered his YouTube channel and then found out he was local, and then found out he was a printer while I was trying to build my production company back up. I was like, well, I need a printer for flyers and stickers and BAM promo stuff. So I hit him up, and he was like, man, that's exactly what I do, is I print for the clubs and events and bands. And I was like, well, cool. I said, then we can talk fish too. Well, we never hooked up because of, life stuff happened. And then we met face to face in Chicago. And from that point on, we kind of became friends, and we've been friends since. And it's been awesome, man. He's a great dude, and I love his videos. He's as dorky as I am sometimes, so we get along great.
Yeah.
And we have the same interests, so it's been fun. And he helped me out tremendously by saving a lot of my shrimp and fish when I had the house fire. So,
which I wanted to go into that a little bit too. How far away is he from you? His shop and stuff, how close is it? How much of a drive is it?
It's about an hour away.
Okay, so it is a little bit.
Yeah. And I didn't really expect to be driving in town as much on a daily basis, but at the same time, this is all worth it. So
yeah,
especially until I start building my fish room out here on the property and I have the availability, I want to get everything set over there as good as possible.
Are you going to so you're going to still build a fish room there that's separate from his stuff? You're not going to sell your stuff with him or anything, or have you guys talked about doing that?
Definitely. I'm going to sell, whatever I breed and stuff, but I want, I got multi-tank addiction, so I'll have several tanks no matter what. And that's kind of where I want to go. I want to have it like a breeding facility for my shrimp and my fish.
Gotcha.
And plants.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's very cool. And yeah, Lori did get the both the YouTube channel and the online store. Again, Jadrin does a great job. If you want Fish Fam stickers, he's great to go to. I actually didn't this last time because I got some holographic ones and stuff, but I do want to go back to him for my regular stickers. He gives a discount, I believe. I believe they're discounted. It's a good price if it's not discounted to Fish Fam people. All you got to
Oh yeah.
do is send over your image, and he'll print them up for you. And it's very affordable. So if you need stickers, Jadron's a good guy to check out. Let's talk about the fire. So when did that happened? About a year ago.
It happened last March.
Okay.
On March 6th. I was actually playing a show. It was the first time in 20 some odd years that the 4 original players from my band got together on that specific stage. It used to be our home turf or our home stage back in the day. So it was kind of really cool to do that. And then, but my house caught fire, and that was crazy enough as it was. And then COVID came all at the same time.
Yeah.
So it was a crazy, crazy, crazy scenario. But luckily, my son made it out alive from the second story. And after that, nothing else really mattered. My son survived. You know, I went back to my house every day and just was paralyzed looking at the damage, just like, you know, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And then I didn't want to touch anything because it was all nasty and place smelled like smoke. So I'd leave and come back and I'd look around and go, I don't know. It's overwhelming.
Yeah. I
so
can
what
only
am I going to
imagine.
do? Yeah.
But,
I can't go anywhere because of COVID.
Where did you stay during that time?
We ended up finding a hotel room that we stayed there pretty much for a month.
Wow.
And the hotel people were super cool. They gave us a big discount. As a matter of fact, they gave us clothes. They gave us food.
Wow.
They helped us out a lot until I found an apartment that I stayed in for a little while before I left to Ohio.
Do you want to give a shout out to that hotel, or, you know, give them a little, just in case somebody's in the area? Do you feel comfortable doing that?
No, not really. I don't feel comfortable. It's weird.
Okay. That's all right. That just sounds like it's something that's very cool that they would go out of their way to do that type of thing for you.
Well, it was a weird thing because my son's junior high band director, my son was in high school already, but his junior high band director was a kid that I gave drum lessons to back in high school. So when he heard about the fire, he organized a fundraiser through the band parents. One of the band parents was the manager at the hotel.
Oh, gotcha.
So when I came in to get my reservation, she was like, "Are you Mr. Flores? Are you the man that house burned?" And I was like, "Yes." And she was like, "Oh my God." And she started just giving us everything.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was amazing. Yeah,
that's definitely. I mean, it sucks that you had to go through that, but still, you know, to have that, you know, that humanity, you know, some people doing those types of things and showing you the good side like that, still had to be, you know, at least heartwarming, at least a silver lining in that cloud, you know.
Oh yeah, very much so, because it was in the midst of everybody's panic for COVID and shelter in place orders coming down, you know, everywhere, left and right. People are freaking out. And I'm, you know, honestly, I didn't have anything to freak out about other than realizing that, man, there's still good people in the world. Despite what's going on, you know, there's still good people in the world. And it was just amazing to have that perspective versus getting caught up in the panic.
And it's probably a good idea that the band never plays together again, because you said it was 20 years they played and your house burned down. I mean, I've heard of burning down the house, but come on. That's a little, you know, maybe don't get them all together again. You know, maybe it's tempting fate, you know?
Yeah, well, we already did. So, and nothing happened.
That you know of. That you know
of.
There might have been an airplane crash that day or something, you know, or.
Thanks, Rico. You can give me a complex about playing with my band now.
Bad things, man. Bad things.
I'll make a video about it. I never play my drums anymore because of Rico.
Right. People are going to be sending me hate mail even more than I get already. You mentioned going to Arkansas
Hmm.
and Ohio. So you took off for a little bit and went with family or something, or
Well, I went to Ohio because Rob from Flip Aquatics had given me a call and he needed some help. And so I went up there and I thought maybe I was going to try to make a go of it up there and get a fresh start in Ohio. But in the meantime, my son was in Arkansas with my nephew trying to figure out how he was going to get enrolled in the boarding school that my nephew went to. So while I was in Ohio, I hung out with Big Rich, had a blast up there meeting them. You know, they were awesome. Got to jam with Big Rich for a little bit.
oh, very cool.
I got to help them move Bellagio tanks and get, PTSD from big tanks because I'll probably never own a big tank after moving those things.
Gotcha.
Um, but I realized I couldn't get everything done from halfway across the country, and I really, really missed my family. It was my first time away from my family, and like I said, I'm attached to my grandkids, so
Yeah.
I decided I'd go back, and I went to Arkansas to get my son situated. Once I got him situated in school, then I got myself situated and came back to Texas.
Gotcha. And has Texas always been home other than that small period? Were you born there? Did you grow up in Texas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Born and raised in Texas. Only other time I've been away is from when I was in the Army up in Washington.
Okay. And how long overall were you in Ohio, roughly? A couple of months, 6 months? How long?
Yeah, not even a couple of months, maybe
Gotcha.
6 weeks at most.
During the
It wasn't very
summertime?
long.
Summertime or
Yeah.
wintertime?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was right after the fire. I got my apartment and then I went up there at the end of May, I think, and stayed up there until the beginning of July.
Okay.
And then because I had 4th of July up there with Big Rich, me and Big Rich and Josh Price, and then Stephen Conroe from 614 Fish.
Yeah.
We went up there.
Nice. That's a good group to hang out with. I just wondered if you had been there in the wintertime, because that might have been a little bit of a shock for a
No,
Texas
man,
boy.
it was bad enough the winter that we had here.
Yeah.
Thank
You
God
guys
I wasn't in Texas. I was in Arkansas, and it was still 1.5 feet of snow that lasted a week.
I'm telling you, don't let that band play together anymore. All this is stemming from that one event. That was a nexus right there. That was a point. I mean, Texas had people died because you guys played. I mean, come on. All right. That's a little over the line. I'm sorry. I take that back. So, what kind of different work have you done over the years too? Obviously, you've been a musician for a very long time, and sounds like you gave lessons and stuff. So you've always been involved with music. Have you done other stuff as well? Car salesman?
Yeah, I was a machinist for the longest time, and eventually became a CNC machinist programmer in the aerospace industry. Made airplane parts.
Cool.
So that was really fun. And then I went on to work for a carbide tooling manufacturing company, one of the biggest in the world, and that was quite an experience. And then kind of got tired of the whole manufacturing world, and I have a tendency to just make a right turn and do something else. So I went into silk screening and managing bands and running my own production company, and then eventually I was running a bar for a while. Then I took another right turn and decided I was going to go and be a regional manager for a big hardware box retail company. And I ended up managing 6 states with like several hundred stores, and I fixed all the equipment in their stores. Me and my team of guys.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot of different hats.
I was doing that up until 2019, basically. And the beginning of 2020, all that fire stuff really changed everything. But I also had a heart attack in 2019. So that I kind of had to take a step back from that corporate travel, being on the road kind of lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah. You've had a rough couple of years.
It's been fun, to say the least, starting off in my 50s. I mean, I I wasn't even 50 yet when I had my heart attack. So yeah, things were crazy. It's been so one thing after the other after the other. I mean, it's ridiculous what we've seen in the past couple of years, me and my son especially. It's just been wow. But we've also formed friendships and learned a lot about ourselves and each other it's invaluable, and I wouldn't take it any other way.
Sure. Yeah.
Honestly, I
Yeah.
really wouldn't.
I get you.
It means the world to me that things happen. I mean, it may not happen the way I wanted them to, but obviously it happened the way it was supposed to, because look at where I'm at now,
Yeah.
I'm on YouTube with you talking about Fishtuber that I co-own with Jadron.
No, that's a negative. That goes back to the band playing. That's a bad thing. That happened to you. That's a bad thing that happened. The good thing that happened is the meeting Jadron and moving into this, other phase of your life, maybe managing a fish store. I mean, it sounds like that's what you're going to be doing, but not just managing, but doing all aspects of it, which is very cool. Have you always been a fish guy? Is that something that's been, I mean, when you were even a kid, you were interested and
Gotcha. Yes, of course. My sister would disagree after some of the things I did to her aquarium when I was like 6 years old. But
I don't think I want to know.
I've always had aquariums, and I've always had my best friend that I live with here on the property. He's the same way. We wanted a guppy farm at the same time that we were talking about plans to tour the world and spread our music. Wild stallions. Excellent.
That new movie by them isn't so good, by the way. I don't know if you watched it. I love Bill and Ted, but the new one, it was okay. I don't know. A lot of nostalgia with it. Did you see it?
Hell yeah, I liked it just because I thought the daughters were spot on.
I think they did a good job there. Definitely, they did a good job casting.
And we needed a good feel-good movie at that point in time, and I think they hit it right on the nail. It wasn't serious. It wasn't about anything political, anything religious. It wasn't. It was just a feel-good movie about two dudes that are going to write the song that unites the world. So me being a musician, that's why I come. Right on.
Yeah,
as cheesy as it was.
I did like that Death came back, and Death was a big part of it. That part was pretty cool, seeing him again. He didn't look like he had changed at all. I'm sure there was a ton of makeup there, but he did not look like he changed from, the movie, however many years ago the second movie was that he was in.
Oh, yeah, that was a long time ago.
So do you have any, okay, so we know that you're a musician. You're obviously into fish. Do you have any other big hobbies that you're into? Is there, any other thing that sticks out for you? Video games or
darts. Darts is a big one. Yeah, for the longest time I was playing on, dart tournaments and trying to get nationally ranked and all that stuff. My son, even at 8 years old, he was playing in youth dart tournaments, and I was on the board of directors for the local dart association, and that was fun, doing a lot of big things. We had a world record attempt for double bullseyes. That was pretty cool, getting on the news and having, worldwide recognition, trying to get this world record. We didn't get it, but it was fun raising money for all the charities that we did.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that was cool. There's a dart board right outside the door. That's the end of the hallway there. So right outside my door, we have just a regular dart board. We play every once in a while, nothing serious. Obviously never got really into it, but well, it's already quarter after, so I think it's a good time to open up to the chat. And again, if you haven't been here before, you came in, you said hi, and nobody said anything to you, or we didn't say anything. I'm sure the chat did. That's by design. The first part of our stream, we always just talk to our guest and get to know about them. We don't really look at the chat, but this is the part where we will. So I really appreciate everybody that's come in. We had 30 people at one point. We're down 26 now, but 32 likes. I appreciate that. And, there's been a ton of conversation. Sometimes I second guess how I do this, because if I don't focus on you, then I get distracted by all the comments in the chat. At the same time, the Fish Fam's pretty awesome, and there is a lot of great comments in the chat. So now's the time, though. If you've got questions for Jerry, now's a good time to bring them up. And hi to everybody. I don't want to go through everybody. Stephen, P2003, said Jerry's son has a cool name. What's your son's name? Stephen?
No.
Oh, because I just assumed because his name is Stephen, I thought he was saying.
That's what I was thinking too. But all my sons are J names, so I have Joseph, Josh, and Jared.
Oh, gotcha. That we did the same thing. We've got 2 boys and a girl, and all of their names start with A. Let's see. Papa Shrimp, what is the key factor to have success with shrimp?
Keep it shrimple.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's all about keeping it simple, man. You got to have the right substrate. You got to have good water and plenty of plants and mosses so that they have a lot of surface area for biofilm. And that's really it. Keep it consistent.
Do you have that shirt yet?
I'm making it. Yes.
Because that is a great, keep it shrimple. That is amazing. I love that. Tom Patterson would like to know, what brand drum kit do you play?
Pearl.
Okay. I used to love to sit down. I can't play. Like I said, I'm not a musician, but like when the band would leave or something, I would go sit down and play the drums for a little bit, or I'd go play the bass. And I did play bass just when they would practice and they didn't have, the bass player was drunk or whatever. That's a long story. We used to do so many things to him. He was always the guy we had to take care of. I don't know. I've heard that about bass players. That's a common thing. But we always had to take care of him. He was always the guy that, got drunk first and everything. If Sean Patrick O'Shea, if you're watching this, I love you to death, man. But it's true.
Sounds like my bass player.
That I've heard that bass players are like that. You looked up, are they right there or something? You sort of looked up like there was somebody standing there. Did you see? Can you see the chat too?
Yeah, I'm looking down there seeing Steven's question.
Okay. Yeah, jump in if you see.
Yeah, I prefer 0 KH to, minimal KH for the Caradinas. And I do use RO water remineralized with the GH plus. So that way I don't get any. I mean, that's the point of actually using a buffered active substrate, is to pull out the KH and minerals that you don't want in the water column. So KH is not that it's bad for your aquarium or your shrimp, but it's going to make your substrate not last as long if you're making it work harder. So RO water remineralized with GH plus is the best way to go with the Caradinas. Now you can go from anywhere from 130 TDS, maybe even 90, as low as 90, to 200 with various different strains. But I try to stick somewhere between 130 and 150-ish is where I like to stick pretty much consistently with. And they seem to do great.
Do you like to raise all different kinds, or do you focus on one specific type of shrimp? I mean, do you like them all? Do you like bamboo shrimp and Amanos and Neos and all of the different ones, or?
I'm really into just the different kinds of tigers and fishbone, Caradina shrimp. I like the blue steels, the purple metallics, but it's not all about what I like, only.
Gotcha.
So if I had my way, I'd have every species possible, if
Gotcha.
honestly,
yeah,
if I had my way. But right now I only have some tigers, some fishbone galaxies, and some tangerine tigers and blue steels. And as I slowly have gotten my aquarium set up, I got 23 of them now in my temporary fish room. So my shrimp tanks are now ready, and I'm already moving shrimp into them. I got 3 of them above me. That's why I keep looking right here, right here.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, oh, I did it again. Oh, do you have a favorite size tank for your shrimp tanks too?
Man, that's hard, but I really do like the Fluval Flex 9 gallons,
Okay.
just because of the shape and the size. And if you got to modify them a little bit for the shrimp so they don't get sucked up into the filtration. But it's really easy to put some filter floss and keep the shrimplets from getting in there, and you have a really easy tank to run and maintain. And they look really good. And everyone that I've set up has been like a little shrimp factory for me. So
Yeah. I've got some cherry shrimp right here next to me in this little 5-gallon. And I just called them today, actually, because I was getting a lot of the color just wasn't good. The red was going away. A lot of the newer ones were clear. So I called out a lot of them. But they're doing great in here. They exploded. It was an accident that how they got in there. I brought some plants over from one of the other tanks, and I must have brought a couple of shrimp over, and
right.
and I decided once they were in there it was perfect for them. Okay, let's see. We talked about the KH. Skull Aquatics would like to know any special shrimp going to be online.
Yes, they're coming. We're working on getting all of that set up. In the shop right now, we only have regular tanks with, tap water that we condition and use the dechlorinator or all that stuff. We're getting the RO unit set up so that we can start holding shrimp there. In the meantime, I'm trying to breed mine. Jason gave me all of his shrimp, which were most of them originally were my shrimp that he rescued from the fire.
Oh,
So that's what I've got going in on mine, and I've split them up as much as I could as far as how I want to breed them and cull them. And so the rest is all about slowly building up my inventory,
yeah.
whether it's by buying more shrimp and breeding them out, or just importing shrimp. But I really, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to keep it in the shrimp fam or the fish fam. I like to keep my money with, in the circle.
Yep.
I don't want to go to the bigs when I can go right next door to my brother that's got the same thing going on.
Yep, I'm with you, and I do it. I mean, like I bought a lot of fish from Aquahuna. They're, the only good thing about that is I do use Corey's thing, so he gets a little kickback, but he doesn't need it. I mean, it's Corey. He doesn't. I would prefer to go with like Jadrin. Like I said, I bought some from Jadrin. I bought fish from Gills. I bought fish from Jess, Mains, Tails, Fur, and Fins. Geez. I'm trying to think. I've got fish from Seth. I didn't buy those, though. He gave those to me because your fish. And actually, because your fish asked, do you play any other instruments? Just the drums, or do you play other stuff as well?
I play the guitar too, and dabble with other instruments here and there. But I write my own music on the computer. Sometimes I write on the guitar first. Sometimes I write on the computer first. Sometimes I write on the drums first. It really depends on my mood.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I dabble. I consider myself a well-rounded musician.
And I'm curious, when you write something on the guitar first as opposed to the drums first, is there like a particular type of music that comes out of that? I mean, do you see more of songs having a lot in common that you wrote on the drums as opposed to writing them on the guitar first? You know what I'm saying? Do you see like something? I'm not really explaining this well. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Mean. My guitar player says that every time he hears one of my songs, he hears a full orchestra playing with it. So
nice.
I come from a very percussive approach on how I play the guitar.
Okay.
Just because I am a drummer.
Yeah.
So I've always had to imagine the other aspects of it in my head that go with it. But now that I write music and he hears that side of it, he goes, "Oh, no wonder you play stuff like that because it sounds like that."
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That makes sense. Okay. Let's see. Oh, it jumped on me here. And if you see something in there, don't hesitate to jump in and
I
answer.
see one from Tony that says, "In ideal tank condition, what is an approximate lifespan I should expect from shrimps?" That's a hard one to answer because I have shrimp that I know are at least 2 years old. And I don't think they've been in ideal tank conditions because they went from surviving a fire to
Yeah.
moving to Jason's house, living in there, and then making it back over here.
Yeah.
And they're big shrimp. I have them in this tank over here, and they're pretty big. And I know I've had them for a couple of years. So that's a hard one to answer, but typically, from what I understand, it's usually 2 to 3 years lifespan is normal lifespan.
And that's for pretty much any kind or Cardinias.
I believe the
Neos, or...
Caradinas last longer than the Neos, just because Neos, I think their metabolism, since they're usually kept in tanks that are a little bit warmer, like with guppies or in a community tank, cherry shrimp, stuff like that, they probably go through their life cycle a little bit faster than the Caradinas that are their tendency is to be kept at 70 degrees, 72 degrees.
Gotcha. Crebensis came in. Hi. Is this talent on his channel? I'm sorry, Rounded Rob. I'm not.
All of my videos has music. If there's music in it, it's music that I wrote.
Oh, okay. I wasn't understanding what he said. So you do have some of your music in some of your videos?
I have my individual solo music.
Gotcha.
My band music, I'm working on a channel for all of that separately. But that way I don't have to worry about any copyright issues, even from my band's music that's published. I just write my own music to my videos.
That's awesome. that is very cool. I use the term jealous a lot. I don't know if jealous is what envious, that's just very cool though. I wish that I could do stuff like that. I've just never ever had that ability. Tony said, with your history of heavy metal music, have you ever seen the cover of Sound of Silence played by Disturbed? They've done a couple of times. Yeah, they did it on Conan or one of the late night shows, and then they also have another live one out there too.
Oh yeah, I mean, and Jason's favorite band is Disturbed, and that's one of his favorite songs. We talked about that the other day. We had a lot to talk about while we were stuck at the airport in Orlando, Florida. But that's one of his favorite bands. So yeah, definitely. My history with heavy metal goes back. Originally, it was all about Iron Maiden and Rush for me.
Yep.
Those were my drum teachers, Nico McBrain and Neil Peart. That was it.
Neil.
That's what I taught myself to. That was every day I was playing one or the other, learning and going over. I was also in marching band and all of that stuff too. But as far as drum set styles, I wanted the best of both of them combined.
Gotcha.
And then Metallica came along, and heavy metal, the harder, faster double bass stuff came along, and it kind of opened my eyes to now I got to combine a third style into Nico McBrain, Rush, and Metallica style. So eventually I did.
Do you, you just named off three great drummers there. Do you have one single favorite drummer?
Well, those guys were among the top.
Yeah.
Of course, all the usual suspects like Buddy Rich and I'd have to say Steve Gadd is probably my number one all-time favorite drummer.
From the name's familiar, but I'm drawing a blank.
He's the drummer that wrote the 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover drum lick.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. With
Paul Simon.
yeah, Paul Simon. I was drawing a blank on his name.
Yeah. That
Oh,
guy.
that's
He's
cool.
he's amazing. Yeah, I mean, he was in the military also and played drums in the military as well. So I have a lot of admiration for what he did and how he took that to what he did. I could have done that, but I thought I was going to be a rock and roll star, so I took a different turn.
Yeah.
And oh well.
Yeah,
Oopsie.
that's interesting that because now he didn't really do any metal later in his life or anything, right?
He did all kinds of stuff. I mean,
Did he?
he's like a revered Hall of Fame type drummer
Gotcha.
when it
So he
comes
could
to
he could
all of
play
that stuff.
anything. He could play
Oh yeah.
any style. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I the name was familiar, but I didn't know who he was. I mean, Paul Simon by himself is amazing. Hey, KG Tropicals came in. You brought in KG. That's
No,
very
not Danny Carey, KG. Now you sound like my wife. Now I love Tool. I think he's a great drummer, but it's one of those things that his drum licks, I'll just say I use them as warm-ups and lesson exercises for my students. And it drives me insane that he's been able to take one riff and make millions off of it. So maybe I'm jealous.
I pray to Danny Carey every night.
Ah, boo.
Neil Peart was my favorite. And again, I don't know that much about drummers specifically, but I did see Rush for 3 tours in a row, and just amazing shows, just amazing. It was Hemispheres, Signals, I believe, and Moving Pictures. I think it was those 3 in a row. Hey, Chattanooga Ed, my buddy. Ed and I do a Monday night stream where we talk about comic books and stuff. And I have to tell you, last night, so we did a 2-hour stream last night, and then Ed and I were up until like 1:30 in the morning, just hanging out and talking. I appreciate the hell out of Ed, and I count him as a very good friend. So, but is it true the shrimp are so big in Texas they're thinking about renaming them Huge?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, they're not so dwarf anymore. At least some of the shrimp I have, they're pretty big. You could almost eat them.
Yeah. Oh, I do like shrimp. Seth would like to know if you listen to any Dean Tony Parks. Is that how you pronounce it? Dean Tony? Dean Tony Parks. I'm not familiar with them.
No, unfortunately, my music listening choices have been really narrowed over the past few years. So I don't listen to much anymore because I'm too busy doing other stuff, and the music of today kind of ticks me off. I really do like Frog Leap Studios. Leo, the guy that does the heavy metal version of every single cover you can think of, whether it's Adele or Prince or Michael Jackson or anything. He's done every cover possible, and
Yeah.
I love his stuff. He's amazing. He's very, very, very talented, and he's a gajillion D-air or whatever you want to call it on YouTube. His videos, they're just amazing videos. It's fun to watch. I hope someday I can edit like that.
Yeah, I've never seen him or heard of him. But, the last couple of years, I've sort of stepped away from music. I don't get into it near as much as I used to. And it's always been a really heavy, heavy part of my life. And I think there is a lot of very good music today. I just think that most of it isn't heard on radio or the sources where we listened to it when we were younger. I think you have to dig to find it now. But I think there's a lot of good music out there, and I've gotten more into, I'm going to say it, indie folk music. Lord Huron and the Yvette Brothers and Old Crow Medicine Show and stuff like that. Maybe because it's so underproduced compared to a lot of the pop music that is just so overproduced.
Right.
Maybe that's what it is that I've um, just gone more towards that because the music is simpler. It's just a bunch of guys. You could just hear it. They're just, they sound exactly the same. That's if you went and listened to them in their garage, they'd sound exactly the same. The Dead South, they've got that. It's the one song. Oh, somebody in the chat will know who I'm talking about. But anyways, there's a lot of good music still being made today, I think, and there is some heavy stuff out there, but that seems even harder to find.
Well, it's all commercialized and overproduced again. So the original, find the guys that can play distorted guitar and play it in a room, and it doesn't matter size or production value. That's what we're missing. That's why I said you got everything that's overproduced. Even the tribute bands sound and look so much like the bands that they're doing tributes to that you can't tell the difference anymore. It sounds like them on the radio, and that's
gotcha.
So you're losing out on the guys in the garage,
in
the rehearsal rooms and stuff like that. And that's why I'd rather listen to the bubbles in my aquarium. It's crazy, but it's so relaxing to me that I enjoy the bubbles and the hum.
It definitely is. Yeah. Yeah, I like even when the tanks are a little low. Like I have mystery snails in these tanks. That's why they're a little low, these two here. But also because they have hang-on backs and the water's dropping in there. And I know that that's one thing specifically that John from KG Tropicals does not like. He doesn't want to hear the sound of the water dropping in his fish room. He said he likes it, when he's like out in nature and stuff, but he doesn't want it when he's trying to work. Puddle's Pity Party.
No, I haven't.
It's a big guy. He's like 6'4". He's dressed like a clown, and he does some amazing covers. And that's good. I'm glad. John brought that up. I don't care for covers that, like you said, sound just like. I like when people give their original take on the cover. I like listening to covers, but I like them when they're nothing like the original song. And at first, you're not even sure if it is that song, and then you hear the chorus or whatever and go, oh, yeah. In Hell, I'll Be in Good Company. That Chattanooga Ed had the song I was talking about. In Hell, I'll Be in Good Company. You got to check it out if you haven't listened to it. Okay. It's just, it's the Dead South is the band. I think if you're a musician, you'll just enjoy it, even if it's not your style. Okay. And we're past time. It's actually a little bit after. Are you in any type of hurry or anything? You got time to hang out a little bit longer?
Sure.
Okay. I hate to take up your whole night if you've got things to do and places to go.
No, I'm enjoying the conversation.
A lot of great people in the chat. That's one of the best things about doing these is just getting to interact with all these amazing people. Deborah said, I'm becoming quite the night owl lately. I have nights. Most of the time I'm still going to bed early, but there are some nights I end up staying up late. And that's all thanks to the energy drinks. I don't want to do a commercial, but I'm going to do a commercial. So I used to drink an energy drink. Exactly. I wish I was sponsored by these guys. So I used to drink a Monster energy drink every day, just one for breakfast every single day. That was every single day I had one of those in my bagel for breakfast. That I have an autoimmune disease and chronic fatigue is a big part of it. So I needed that extra boost. And then when I started doing some streaming, I would also have one just to help wake me up at night. Well, not night. I mean, it's 7:30, but late afternoon. Well, I found this powder called Gamer Sups, SUPPS, Gamer Sups, and it's a powder that has no sugar. It does have powdered fruit in it. They don't tell you exactly which fruit it is, but I'm sure that's the sugar. But it's got a lot of caffeine. It's got a lot of different B vitamins, like a huge amount. It tastes good, and it's like a third of the cost of the Monster. You buy it online, and Gamer Sups. If you like energy drinks, give them a try. It's a good way to save some money. It's better than the Monster Energy by far, and it does have a little bit of a cook, a little bit of a cook. Balls energy drink. No, man, I remember that. Let's see. So KG had a question for you. As a lifelong Metallica fan, I want to ask Lars, overrated or underrated? Or just rated? Does he get what he deserves?
Oh, that's a tough one.
And we'll leave out the, what was it that Napster? Yeah, they went after Napster. We'll leave out the Napster part of it.
I would say he's overrated by the general fan. Not by musicians by any means, but he's definitely gotten better. I'll give him that. His latest efforts show a lot of technique that I'm kind of surprised that he had. I'll put it that way.
Gotcha.
So I think he's getting better in his older age. Not so much the earlier stuff, but the sound and the band around him was so awesome that Metallica was just, that was it, strive to be like Metallica.
Do you have a favorite album by Metallica?
Yeah, probably Master of Puppets.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ride the Lightning was that was my favorite.
That one's pretty darn good too.
Yeah. Master of Puppets, I always got backwards. I always said it wrong. I have a little bit of dyslexia when I'm talking. I transpose the first. Okay, so a long time ago, my son and I were hiking, and
James is not underrated as a guitar player.
Your face, I love how you dropped there. My son and I were out hiking, and he kicked a cactus. Actually, it looks like manzanita wood, right? Or no, cholla. It's the cholla cactus. He kicked it, and we went off and did our hike, and we came back, and he goes, "There's that cactus I cacked." He transposed the letters. Instead of cactus I kicked, cactus I cacked. Well, I do the same thing. Fishy Biz. I always call him Fisty Bish.
Oh, Lord.
And Master of Puppets was always Pastor of Muppets. Always. I could never, anytime I tried to say the name of the album, it was always Pastor of Muppets. Which still sort of fits. It still sort of fits. I mean, it's still okay.
Right.
So do you want to talk
That's
about
funny.
that? What John said there about James is underrated as a guitar player?
James is awesome. He's awesome. That's all I have to say about James.
Zen Ginger, we didn't say hi to you. I'm so sorry. My fish tanks. Anybody else who came in I didn't say hi to? Hi. Thanks for being here. All right.
Pastor of Muppets, I'm pulling your strings.
See, it still fits, doesn't it? Pastor of Muppets. I could see the video.
Oh Lord!
I could see the video.
I'm going to start seeing that now. Thanks.
No problem. I'm glad I helped you out. Let's see. Is there any other questions for Jerry? Let's see. I'm just going to scroll up here real quick and make sure I didn't miss anything. And we are almost 15 minutes over. So if nobody has anything else, I think we'll let Jerry go. Thanks for coming up. Let me interview you. I appreciate it so much. It's always so much fun to get to know you guys better.
Oh man, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's been fun, and I was so worried because I had to follow John, and I was like, really? Little bitty old Papa Shrimp is the guy that almost fell and looks like Danny Trejo.
well, here's.
I even asked him. I was like, what do you mean? Am I that pockmarked?
Scarred up, yeah. Well, this will make you feel better. Lisa is next week, so you got sandwiched between John and Lisa. So I don't know if that helps
Okay.
you, if helps your anxiety at all, but at least
No,
Lisa's
not at
coming up
all.
next.
Thanks, man. It just made it
next
worse. I'm gonna
I've
have a
seen,
couple shots right now after the stream.
I've seen to have done that the whole stream. And I want to say one more time, don't let the band all play together anymore. We don't need any major catastrophes happening. Let's see. Like I said, Ed and I, Monday nights at 8 o'clock, we do our comic book stream. And next Tuesday, we have Lisa from KG Tropicals. She's going to be up. And I can't remember who's the following week now. I'm drawing a blank on who's coming up after that. We did some rearranging. People were very cool about it. I was excited to get Lisa to come up, so I actually asked some people if they wouldn't mind being bumped, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's great, no problem at all." Because they were excited as well to get to learn more about Lisa. So it was very cool there. Zen Ginger, I'm going to go listen to Ride the Lightning after this. It was a great album. It was just a great album. I absolutely love that album. I can definitely say that's my very favorite. Lied the Lightning. I didn't even see it. Lied the Lightning. I didn't even notice what Zen Ginger said.
That's
all right.
Funny.
Anything that you'd like to share before we take off? Is we touched on all the stuff happening with Jadrin. Anything else you got coming up that you want to tell people, or we cover everything pretty good?
No, I think we covered everything pretty good. I mean, just thanks everybody for being so cool and just responsive in a positive way. I haven't met any douchebags or anything. Everybody's been really cool. So, even all the people on the comments, I appreciate that. Thanks for not being so hard on me for my first, attempts at streaming. So, or being a guest or any of that. So awesome. Thank you very much.
The Fish fam, I say it all the time, but they are amazing. They're therapeutic for me in multiple different ways, as much as the fish hobby is. They're just they go hand in hand with the hobby and just take it to a whole nother level for me. So I appreciate all of them. Science Gal, I don't know if I said hi to Carrie. John McKenzie, hi. Stephen.
Hi, Carrie.
Oh, Stephen. Kiss Doran and Shop a Pimp. Shop a Pimp. That I do like Shop a Pimp. Keep it shrimple.
Lord.
Keep it shrimple.
Yep. Keep it shrimple.
Keep it shrimple. Did you make that up?
Yes.
Because it's just so, it's like one of those, it's so right. It feels so right. Keep it shrimple.
That's kind of why I did it, because I'm always like, keep it simple, stupid. And then when I was doing the shrimp thing, and I was like, well, I'm keeping it shrimple, because that's, and then it kind of stuck. My son was like, that's cool. A lot of the things I do is because my son says it's cool, or you ought to do this, Dad. Like, you ought to start a YouTube channel, Dad. And I was like, okay.
Nice. I wish my kids would give me some motivation like that. You got to get those shirts made because I will definitely buy one. I'm telling you right now, I'm in line. I want one of those shirts. I will definitely rock a Keep It Shrimple shirt.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. We'll see you, in the stream. Let's see who goes tonight. We've got Catfish Terry. We got Bentley Pasco. We've got, I believe, Alex, Secret History, living in your aquarium. I think he's actually going right now. Who am I missing? There's a few good ones on Tuesday nights. Maybe All Things Fish. He does Tuesday nights once in a while. So a lot of people to watch out there. So go support some of your Fish fam people. All right, everybody, take care, and we'll see you on the next one.